Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I am Canon EOS photographer Randall and Rueff. And today is Friday, September the 29th, 2013 AD. And I'm looking at the 3D lens for the Canon XL1, or the XL1S, as I happen to have. Now, this was announced in 2001, and the fact that it's 2013 and it's nowhere to be seen that we know of. Excuse me, I thought I would do a brief overview of what happened to this lens, because I wish they would make it with some modifications. First of all, let's talk about some things. First of all, in 2001, when they announced this, it had a sale price of $10,000, so it was very, very expensive. So a lot of people couldn't afford it, even if they did ever release it, which they never did to the general public. It was never released. And the reason for that is it has two lenses built into one lens. Two lens elements. As you can see, it has, looks like robot eyes, or, Johnny Five Eyes from Short Circuit, or Wall-E, or... Anyway, it looks like two eyes in one lens. And that's what it has, as you can see here. But the problem they had is when they designed the lens, they didn't design it for the images to be recorded at the same time. What they did is they designed it to switch every frame. So it'd be like one frame, it would be the left lens, the next frame would be the right lens, and back and forth. So if you had 30 frames per second, if you were shooting in 30 frames per second, you had 15 on the right and 15 on the left. And if you were shooting 60 frames a second, you had 30 on the left and 30 on the right. Well, it turned out that when you did it or recorded it this way, that if you had a lot of fast motion, or like, you're doing sports or things of this nature, or race cars, or people on bicycles doing things of this nature, that you would get a lot of blur. And it didn't work very well. What they needed to do is make it so both images were recorded, or both of the lenses recorded at the same time, and they never did that. So that's why the lens was never released to the public, at least not in America. I believe in Japan they released some, but then had a recall or something like that. I mean, there were some rumors that they had sold some in Japan for a short time, but that the lens had been recalled shortly after release. So, but I'm not real sure. I mean, I don't have all the details on that, but that's just the rumors they had at the time. I remember that. But it was never released in the U.S., and I wish they would make a lens for this, for the XL. I've got an XL1S. Now, having said the fact that my XL1S is standard definition, it's not high definition, it would be awesome if they did this lens for the 1DX, or the 1DC, or just a general, a lens for that works with both of those. Basically an EF mount that would be able to work with 5D Mark III, all the DSLRs that recorded, not intermittent, but it recorded two images to each frame to give that 3D effect. So I mean, back in the day, if they had further developed it, of course, back in 2001, you have to remember 2001, 3D wasn't really a big thing like it is now. It's still not as big as a lot of people in the industry would like, but it is definitely growing leaps and bounds compared to 2001, to say the least. So, and what I mean by a lot of summer movies, blockbuster movies are put in 3D. There's a lot of movies being done 3D nowadays. Like I said, 2001, that was just not the case. So, there are other companies that make a 3D lens, but none of them are compatible with the Canon DSLR. There is a Canon, I think one or two Canon lenses that are compatible with their video, with a camera that's separate from their DSLR lineup that is video only, although it may have some primitive still capabilities, but it's basically a video camera. Does HD video in 3D, which is nice, but again, it's expensive. What we're looking for now is a 3D lens that's compatible with DSLRs, EF mount. And even now with the cinema line, they can do one with a PL mount. That would be good too. So to have a PL mount lens and an EF mount lens in 3D would be awesome. Whether it's the entire lens or just the end of the lens. I mean, a neat feature would be if you have the lens and you could add it to, let's say you've got a 28-300, which I love. Not a Canon lens, but I have let's say you have a 28-300 and you have the 3D adapter you can screw on the end. Okay, that's not what this is, but I'm just saying that's would be an option. What this is the entire lens itself. This isn't an adapter you screw on the end of the lens. This is an entire lens. But whether they did it where it was the entire lens or whether they did it where it was an adapter you could put on the end of a lens, either way would be great. I think an adapter you could put on any kind of lens would be awesome because you could put it on your, your 50 millimeter. You can put it on your 100 to, or your 70 to 300, or your 70 to 200, or your 28 to 300, or your 500, or your 400, or your 300. Being able to put that on the end of the lens would be awesome. So Canon, if you're out there listening, I hope you are. I'd love to see it. I know there's a lot of people that would love to have it, and also we'd like to have different features. I mean, nowadays there's different kinds of 3D. You got your standard where you do red and blue. Some of them are red and green. Some of them are, like you go to the movie theater and it's, I got the glasses in here. I'll have to look at it and see. It's the, they call it I can't even think what it's called now. Oh, it's called the Real 3D, or the Real D 3D, which, in my opinion, are the best. I've seen 2 or 3 movies with a Real D 3D, and it doesn't look like it's blue and red. It just looks like it's there, but it's in 3D, and if they had that would be awesome. So I'm hoping Canon will do some 3D stuff. And I'm not talking about the ones where you take side-by-side images. Those